Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. I'm your host, as always, on a great weekend afternoon. Nothing like being in the studio with my lovely co-host, Miss April Coleman.
That's right.
How are you doing today?
I am overworked. How are you?
Overworked, underpaid. Is that the story?
That is the story.
Well, we're glad you could join us today. Glad to have us on set, and thank you guys for joining us. Every weekend we try to give you the up-to-date information in the real estate market and kind of what's going on in our own backyard, what's going on in our life, just kind of a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. You never know what you may expect, so thank you guys for following us. We really appreciate that. If you guys are around town on social media, don't forget to watch our live streams. We have them on Facebook, Instagram, and so many more. So just check us out there and like our page. Don't forget to like our page if you're out and around. I think we're going to start doing some giveaways when football season comes back around. So you definitely want to like and subscribe, because if you're not on the page, you can't win it. So I had a good time last year about football.
I know.
And the reason I say football, right, honey? What do you say? Got the orange?
Honey.
Yeah.
Getting prepared, I see.
I'm getting ready for football season.
And then it hasn't even started hardly in
But
spring.
it's going to be here before you know it.
I know.
Right?
Yes.
I went by the UT store, and they said they had their new gear out. So I went by the UT store and go ahead and got my short sleeve shirts, got my UT shirts. I'm preparing, honey.
Yes, you are preparing.
We're pretty excited about it. So
wow.
we've got a good show for you guys today, and it's a little bit off topic on real estate, but obviously you guys know we run a small business, and we're a husband and wife team, and the challenge with that is, how do you juggle your family life and a business? You guys being self-employed, running a business yourself. Just running your household is a business, right? Mm-hmm. That's a business and a job in itself. So how do we manage what we do, whole process, and try to keep our sanity? So we're going to talk about that today, a couple topics, tips, give you some of our insight of what we do, and maybe that will help you.
Maybe.
Or
will help me.
Hey, April was telling me before we went into the show, she said, this is my therapy. This is my therapy. I can come here and talk in the radio and kind of air out my problems.
Oh.
Do you need my therapy?
Maybe.
Well, real estate will drive you crazy, guys. So all the people that we have dealing, it's all walks of life. It's great at moments, but it all comes crashing sometimes.
It's frustrating.
Anyway, but before we start the show, guys, thank you for staying with us. We've got some congratulations. Very, very busy spring, and April's got some congrats to celebrate, right?
That's right. We do. So we have a couple of buyers that we are helping, and that is my buyers from Florida that are relocating, and they're going to be purchasing Lakeview Circle here in a little bit next week. It's very exciting for them transferring. We have our friend that we're helping, and she's buying a condo at River Garden Court. So congratulations to her. We're finally going to get her in Sevierville.
So happy for her.
Yes.
Long journey. Journey.
We have one of our past clients. He is buying an investment property, so congratulations to him. And then also our other buyers are purchasing over on Ridge Park, so we're really excited for them. And then, of course, we have our other closings that are coming up. I believe that we have mentioned before, but we keep getting a little bit closer. A couple of new ones are Peachview Drive. The Louders are going to be closing. Rudder Lane is now pending. And I believe another one coming up really soon that we're really excited about is Kingston Pike. So
happy for them. Yeah.
Yes.
It's been busy.
Yes.
So why don't you lead us off into this story or this process about, a lot of guys out there are running their own business. Some of our employees do that. They have children. Mm-hmm. How do you manage all that, run a business, and keep your sanity?
Let's see. I'm still trying to figure that out because I believe that it's a learning process. So for those of you who are kind of new to our radio show, we have been talking about kind of our backgrounds and where we come from. I had been a nurse for 11 years. I worked at Children's Hospital. I was a CNA prior to that. And so I was used to working the 12-hour shifts 3 days a week, up to 14 hours in a shift. You never know. But so that was me. I was off for several days and I didn't have to work every single day. I was able to go to my job, leave, come home, and then do whatever I wanted to do. So now, entrepreneur and self-employed, it's a little bit different. So I feel like that it does take a lot more time management and skill to especially work together with your spouse, and also have a 4-year-old. So I think that the number one thing that we've struggled with is that we have a lot of tasks that need to be done. How are we going to make time to get finished with all of those tasks by the end of the day? So for us, we have to figure out what is important right now, what is the timeline that has to be done right now, and what do we have to finish? Because for us, for some reason, we like to stay at the office until 9 o'clock at night to finish up and then get home late. And so those are some things that we just work through, try to figure out, especially having a 4-year-old and dinner and all that good stuff. So,
well, you guys know it's hard. I mean, it's a challenge, and everybody says well they want to be self-employed and the glamour and the glitz with it, but reality is it's a lot of work. And one of the topics we have here from an article that we had, it said perfection doesn't exist. And especially if you're from somebody that loves perfection. And I think the biggest thing that you come into as a business owner, as a technician or a person that's actually doing the work, like you're either a good carpenter or you're a good salesperson or you're good, we'll pick on Daniel, a good video person, or we're a good photographer, or you're good whatever. But there's so much that runs into a business that most people really don't understand. Mm-hmm. And I love meeting with people and having that opportunity, but I don't love HR work. I don't love the accounting part of it.
True.
And there's so much in the business. A book that was written, his name's Michael Gerber, The E-Myth. We talked about that. And really this is just the entrepreneurial spirit, and that most people that get into business really don't understand all that if you're a great, let's say, artist, right? Mm-hmm. Don't realize to run the artist studio, what you have to do, that it develops the HR department, the accounting department, the legal department. Oh, guess what? The most important, the marketing department, to go out and get new clients and engage in that. And so I think some people underestimate getting in the space. Maybe, let's say that they worked for another company before and come into the space and they say, well, I can just do that and run that. And they realize that they got away from what they enjoyed.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
And sometimes you get into business and it's by default. There's other opportunities that you really wanted to face, and so you ran out there and did it yourself. Mm-hmm. But I think the challenge is, when you have those long nights to midnight or 10 or 11 o'clock at night, you start wondering, going, is this even the right move? Is this the right move for me and my family? And I think that's challenging. And, a lot of things in this business, second topic we'll talk about is just you can't compare yourself to other people.
This is true.
And I think, what my mom and dad did when they were younger and how they ran my household and how your parents were is totally different than how we run ours.
Yes, very.
So our little 4-year-old is growing up around, business and pictures and customers where, I wouldn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about business or anything. So is that a good thing or bad thing? I don't know. But I think it is good to an opportunity that they're exposed very early. I think if you look outside of it, we have, someone in your family that stay-at-home mom. She stays at home. She quit her job, and she's raising the kids, and that's a good idea. But at the same point, there's pros and cons, and you can't compare what we're doing to somebody else. I think the biggest thing that you have to do, I think the biggest thing in success in real estate, business, or anything you do, you got to be happy. And I think one of the biggest things, we got 6 of the biggest truths that you need to know about being an entrepreneur, and we'll get into it, is number 1, don't be mad at this. It says it's going to suck for a long time.
That's my favorite.
It's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. And
for a long time.
my wife was feeling that pain the other night when she was having one of those moments. But,
yes.
But anything worth having in life, anything worth having is going to take some hard work, some long nights at the, I remember back when I started in real estate, literally were my friends, people in the business, and they were out partying, they were out doing different things. They were out doing whatever they needed to do. I was at the office, literally planted in the office. So we were in this retail location, and that retail location had an opportunity with a lot of traffic. Well, being brand new in the business, I didn't know anybody. Definitely didn't train anything. They don't teach you anything. Kind of the training of here's the phone, here you're on your own kind of deal. But I knew I had that hunger and desire,
right,
and that drive to make a difference. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to have any opportunities at the house. I'm not going to have any desires. I'm not going to make any money at the house
That's
sitting
true.
in the house. I said I've got to be out there and be in front of it. And so I pretty much lived at the office and opportunities. But those are things that you sacrifice where some of the other guys are having fun, and where you put the time in and look where it pays off. But it took 5 or 7 years to really get where you needed to go. So we're coming on a break. We're talking about juggling your family life and being a successful entrepreneur in 2019. Can you do it? Can you keep the marriage sane? Can you keep the whole family engaged? Real Estate with Ryan. Stay with us here in a few minutes. When we come on this break, we'll talk more about that on the other side of the break. Thank you, guys.
When it comes to the real estate market, turn to the experts that focus on you. With over 20 years experience, Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty knows what it takes. It's the right marketing. It's the right exposure. Ryan and April will use their expertise each step as they guide you through the home buying and selling process. Ultimately, it's about results.
You need someone you can trust that is committed to you.
You have a lot of choices, but the choice is simple. It's Hometown Realty.
Is it time for a new place? Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty has the experience to sell your home quickly and help you find the right home for you. And if he can't sell it right away, he will buy it himself. Life changes, and sometimes your home needs do too. Buying or selling, turn to someone you know you can trust. Ryan Coleman at Hometown Realty.
All right, thank you guys for coming back to Real Estate with Ryan. Had a little technical issues there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but we got it squared away, and thank you guys so much for staying with us. Hey, if you're tuning in on the other side of the break, you're just coming in, Ryan Coleman, April Coleman, Hometown Realty. We own a real estate firm in town, and we always try to bring you the up-to-date information in the market, and we try to have fun while we do it. So
That's right.
thank you guys for staying tuned. If you need us, tell them the number, man. Go ahead and do a little plug.
Yeah, this
do a
is
little
the
plug
best.
if they're out there.
The best number in real estate, 693-SOLD.
Oh, man, she's not selling
7653.
it. It really is the best number
It
in
is.
real estate,
I
man.
mean, what
I
other
see a lot of
number
people
would
out there copying my soul, but that's
know.
okay.
That's okay.
I'm not going to hate. All right, so we're back in the show, and we're talking about, we talked about it be painful for a long time. Another thing that we talked about is it really does take a lot of hard work.
It does.
And, you second guess yourself throughout that process. And, you have those conversations, is it really worth it? Mm-hmm. But you go back and look in certain parts of your life. And April and I were reflecting the other night, and I said, what other better opportunity can I have than do with something that you really love and have an opportunity to meet new people every day and that you have a passion for it? Mm-hmm. I think if you don't have a passion for it and there's not the highs in the business or have those opportunities, then it'll always be that job where you just dread it. And,
Right.
and we've all had those jobs where you just dread it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to do that. But how good is it to do something that you love and you're good at and then get paid for it? So,
Right.
so there's a certain positive on that. And then I think, more importantly is sacrifice. Everybody that's in business, they understand that time is our most valuable commodity. Mm-hmm. And guys that are out there spending the time, whether it's our industry, mortgage, title, those guys take a lot of time away from their family to do a service. And so you have to respect that and what they do to bring to the table. And so, understanding that just because you got a business card doesn't mean you're in business, right?
Ooh, this is very true.
And so it's going to take a lot of time away from your family. But at the same time, isn't there a lot of opportunity, that you can do certain things? I know about being self-employed, and I couldn't have done a lot of different things being involved with what I did. Mm-hmm. I know at an early age, and this is not getting sentimental, but at a very early age being into real estate. My mom passed away at an early age. And it was very hard to deal with it at that time, at any time, that your mother passed away very early. But if it was not for me being in the self-employed business, if it was not for me having an opportunity to have a passion and drive, I couldn't financially even cover the funeral. So that, you look at that and different things that you come across in your life, and you say, well, why are you talking about that? But I look back and I say, well, a lot of the pain, a lot of the things that you go through as an individual, you look back and you say, hey, there were some hard struggles, but thank God that I had that opportunity to be involved, or I put that time, or I stayed at the office all those hours, or I dealt with those crazy clients, because we do have some, yes, we do.
And we love them no
and
matter
we love
what.
all of them, the crazies, right? You love our crazy self. So, but we do. And we deal with those, and we go through the highs, the lows, the cryings, and all that. And to put it all out there, I'm just thankful for that opportunity. And so, you look at those hard times that you have as an entrepreneur, and you got things are changing. You can't make things work. You say, well, can I even make it work? Is it even worth it? You go back to those times and reflect that whether it's at vacation or whatever situation that got you there, those things weren't able to happen without you putting that hard work in as being a self-employed person.
This is very true.
Yeah. So I say, as much as the headaches, as much as the frustration, it's reflecting back in your life and things that you guys have done, that if it wasn't for that hard job or those late nights or the crazy calls, you wouldn't be where you're at. And so it's easy to get pulled sideways, but it does take hard work to be successful in any business that you do, right?
This is therapeutic.
It is not. It is not
Yes,
therapy.
yes, because then I think back on the time that, the specific time that we went on a vacation to the beach, and it always happens, which is fine, but we go to the beach, and of course, it's a little bit rainy, so we have to stay in, but we also have 5 offers that come in while we're at the beach. And so
it always happens when you leave out of town. Everybody calls. It doesn't matter what's going on, and they need you right away.
That's right. And so that I remember a specific vacation that we went on, and literally we had offers after offers after offers, and we worked the entire beach trip. And it was frustrating being there and being at the beach and not really having a vacation. But then when you think about all those families that we were able to help, and we were able to sell their house, and the opportunity that we had to help other people in our life, then you reflect back on that and just think, well, it was worth it. I mean, it really was. Even though, we got to go to the beach and the pool, and, we had a good time. It was not the ideal vacation or the perfect vacation, but that's okay, because we can take another.
I think, it's never perfect, but, just an opportunity to share that passion. I think as you guys being self-employed and you look at that opportunity, I was telling my wife the other day as she was having her little issue.
He wants to bring that up.
No. But she was, you know how it gets. It gets stressful with just life and real estate. It gets stressful, right?
I like
it. And when I was telling her was like, an opportunity in the business. Where else could I go? Not only have an opportunity to be around my lovely wife, but then be around my daughter and to still do business and do a whole lot of different things. I remember early on when my daughter was an infant, I took her in like her carrier to meet clients.
Yes.
And that may be a little abnormal, but people in East Tennessee, they were very compassionate.
Yes.
And,
she went to closings in her pajamas.
Things happen, man. You just made it happen on things that maybe you guys can understand, you can relate. And those are moments that I'll never get back.
Right.
And those times with her and doing those things, those are special. And so if I was working for somebody else, if I didn't put all that work in for 20 years, I'd never had that opportunity. So I'm very thankful for that. I want to talk about, guys, try to help you guys in the process. Let's say if you're single, if you're like I was several years ago, you're looking for the right person, you're a self-employed person, you got career goals, you got passions, you're driving forward. How do you meet that spouse? How do you find that spouse that's going to take you to new levels, what you need to look for, what you need to not look for, and when you make that big decision. Now, if you're a business owner like me, I worked all the time. There wasn't much time for a social life. Let's face it, that society has gone away. You got the clubs, you got the restaurants, the bars, you got the blind dates and all that stuff, right? And then we got the online dating. But, ultimately, give away my secrets now. But really, the idea for single people to meet people is very, very hard.
Yes.
And so things you want to make sure you know is when you're dating somebody, it's very important early on that you make sure you talk to them what your goals are, what you're trying to do as a business owner, and things you need to talk about for the future. One thing, I think one of the biggest challenges that you run into is make sure you have a spouse or somebody there on the same page.
This is very true.
We've had those spouses or we've had those girlfriends or boyfriends where they've got a vision of one thing. Let's say that they like to spend money and you like to keep money.
Yes.
Right? And so sometimes we find that those things really don't work out well. Or like you're a business owner, you're out there, you really want to blow it up, you really want to go expand your business and you're excited, and then you have somebody that really doesn't want to do that.
And they want you to stay home, or they...
Right.
Yes.
And so the challenge with that, it makes sure in that relationship that you have somebody that understands your vision that's going to support you in that process. Because, the biggest thing is having somebody that's not pulling you up versus pushing you back. That could be a big challenge.
Right.
And I think you guys know as being self-employed or understanding the business, that if you don't have your spouse's support, or if you don't have your girlfriend's support with what you're doing, a lot of your mojo, I talk about your mojo, but what you do inspire as an artist and a design. If you don't have that, it's something missing. I know.
This is true.
I know when we got married, it's so much easier that when you have somebody you're working for, or you got a family that you're pushing for, you do so much more than you do for your own. When it was just me and my dog at the house, and we didn't have to do a whole lot.
Right.
So, what's your thoughts on that?
I was just thinking of when we first met and you said, "Oh, you have a job? You work? That's great. You're my kind of gal."
Hey, there's just two pluses. You work and good girl, good Christian girl. So
It's really funny.
she's a good Christian girl and she works. There's already two pluses.
Yes.
So she was already
okay.
beat out half the applicants.
It was so funny. So anyway, another thing I was just thinking of is when you're married, you have kids, then you just have to work out your kinks. You just have to be on the same page, write down your goals, what inspires you, what are you looking for, and also your kids. I think that you need to be able to make sure we spend time with them and make time for them and do fun things with them and carve out that time, but then also see that, they see that you work and that you want to pass this down.
I think it is important. We're about to run to a karate match, and you got to set times that matter and boundaries. And we'll take the phone calls, but make things that are important and make it a must. Thank you guys, as always. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's Real Estate with Ryan, a little something different. Being successful in business is not easy, but thank you guys for following us. If you need us, 693-7653, or you can visit us at ryancoleman.org. You guys have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.